Good morning or good afternoon whenever you're watching this. I hope you're all having a great day as always. And before we jump into today's lesson, it is very important that I talk about something real quick. So, like I mentioned yesterday, these are actually fractions that we're working with, but you'll learn that fancy term later on. Uh, so, this first shape I drew here is a circle, and one out of the two parts is shaded in. We call this a half. So this circle is cut into half, just like how you can cut a pizza pie in halves, or you can cut a cake in half, right? So you have one slice down the center, and you have two parts, which is called a half. And for this other shape down here that I drew, it's a circle with 4 pieces. We call this a quarter. 1/4 is shaded in. So whenever there are 4 pieces, we call that quarters. And if you know your coins, to help you remember, you could always remember that it takes 4 quarters, right? Equals $1. So if these are quarters here, 1, 2, 3, 4, you need 4 quarters to equal $1. So this might be a little trick to help you remember the term quarter for when you see something cut into 4 pieces, okay? If you don't know your coins, don't worry. Just make sure you remember the term quarter. We're just dealing with these two words today, half and quarter, okay? Now let's jump into today's work. Okay, so now that we know the terms halves and quarter, let's do some practice problems together. Some examples to get us used to these new words and ideas and stuff. So if we read number 1, it says circle the shapes that have 1/4 shaded blue. Okay, so these are the important words in this sentence. 1/4 is shaded blue. And remember, a quarter, let me try to write that down. A quarter equals 4. Okay, we can't forget that. When we hear the word quarter, it means 4 pieces. Okay, do not forget that. So we are looking for shapes that have 4 pieces. And we can see right away this circle does not have 4 pieces. So it's out of the question. And then we can see this box over here. This box, we you can see it has 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. But it says only one of the quarters of it are shaded blue. Does this just have one blue part? No, it has 2 blue parts. So we have to get rid of this right there. Just cross it out. We don't want it because we just want shapes that have one blue part. That's what 1/4 means. And we look at these shapes, we can see that this one here has 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many blue pieces does it have? It has just one. So this looks great, and we're going to circle this. And we look at this circle here. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Good. It's looking good. And only one is shaded blue. So we're going to circle that too. And next, let's look at number 2. Number 2 says, circle the shapes that have 1/2 of the shape shaded yellow. So those are the super important words. We need to know how many parts there are. There's halves, which means it's going to be split into 2 pieces. Anything that has more than 2 pieces, we do not want. And we are only looking for shapes that have equal parts, mostly. Okay? Because a half, if you see this half here, see how it's 2 pieces? 1, 2. Those are halves, and they are equal. If something is cut in half, it has to be the same size and shape on both sides. This rectangle, definitely not cut in halves because it's cut, well, has more pieces, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Has 4 pieces, and there's not just one line down the middle splitting it into equal parts. So this is out of the question. And if we look at this circle here, how many pieces are there? Oh, and I'm going to write this down too. Remember, half equals 2 pieces. Okay? Super duper important. That's what you need to remember about halves. Half equals 2 pieces. So anything more than that has more than 2 pieces, we do not want it. We don't want it at all. So this circle here, since it has 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, we're going to cross it out. It does not look good. And we can look at this last shape, which is a square. And it looks like there are 2 pieces. We have 1, 2, and they look like the same size and shape. So far, this last shape looks good, and this first shape looks great. Now we have the halves picked out. Let's make sure it has the rest of the stuff that we're looking for. We only want half shaded yellow. So does the circle have just one part shaded yellow? It does. So we want to circle that. That looks great. For this box, is only one of the 2 parts shaded yellow? It is. So we definitely want to circle that too. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more and let's read this carefully together because this one gets a little tricky. It says circle the shapes that do not have 1/4 shaded purple. So do not have 1/4 shaded purple. So if you remember what I said earlier, a quarter means 4 pieces. So it could be one of these 2 shapes, right? It could be, we're working with a lot of squares and we're working with a lot of circles. And we know if these are cut into quarters, it could look something like this. So they're saying if we see a shape that is cut into 4 pieces and one of those pieces is purple, that we definitely don't want it. So if this was to be shaded purple right there, and if this was to be shaded purple, we would not want either one of these. So we have to be careful and look out for that. So we look at this first one. See this square right there? Does it have 4 pieces and then is one of those pieces shaded purple? Let's see. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, and one of those pieces is purple. It looks just like what we drew right there. So we do not want this. Because they even told us, do not. All right. So the next shape here, the circle, it is cut into 4 pieces. And does it have any purple in it? No, it does not. I mean, it has 1 piece shaded green, but that's okay because they just want us to look out for the purple. So we can go ahead and circle this. For the next one, we have a rectangle. It's cut into 2 pieces that are not equal. And so far it's already looking good because it's not cut into 4 pieces, right? And since it's not cut into 4 pieces, we know that it cannot have a quarter, just a quarter of it shaded purple. So right away we're like, awesome, I'm going to circle this. And because it's not cut like, now if it was cut something like this, where it had 1, 2, now if it was cut like that, where it was in 4 parts and then one of them was purple, then we wouldn't want it. But since a lot of this is purple and it's only cut into 2 pieces, it's a-okay. But this one over here, we wouldn't want it. Let's look at this last square. It is cut into 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And is one of those pieces shaded purple? Or we could all say, does one of them, or does this square look like one of these shapes that we drew on the side here? It kind of does. And we can see, because we can see that it has one part shaded purple. So we do not want it. So we would only circle these middle 2 shapes, this rectangle and the square, because they do not have a quarter piece shaded purple. Okay, I know it can be a little confusing, but don't worry, we're going to work on this a little bit more. Make sure you get your math workbooks for this next part and open up to the page that says 16-3. Okay, this is what your page should look like. At the top it says reteaching, and then it has the number 16-3. If you do not have your book yet, please go get it. Or if you just don't have the right page open yet, then pause the video, make sure you have the right page open, then hit play. So we already know the big fancy terms, half and quarter, right? So now let's read the directions for numbers 1 and 2 and see what we have to do. Okay, so for number 1 and 2, they say circle the shape that shows 1/2. 1/2 shaded gray, okay? Let's do this first one together. So for number 1, which one is cut into 2 equal parts? Well, we can see that this first square here, it has 2 equal parts. So this shows halves. That's perfect. So far that one looks good. Let's look at this next shape right here. Well, it's cut into 2 parts, but they're not equal. So they're not halves. So this cannot be it. And plus, if it was cut in half, like right down the center, more than just half of it would be gray. All right, so we eliminated that option, so this one must be it. And we can even look back at it and say, you know what? This does have 2 equal parts, and this one side here, only this one side, is shaded gray. That's exactly what they were looking for. Now, for number 2, try it on your own. Which one of these 2 shapes shows only half shaded gray? I'll give you guys a couple seconds to pick your answer. All right, I think that should have been enough time. Let's look at them. This first one, this first shape, this circle here, it's cut into 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, right? And one of those parts is shaded. So that means only a quarter is shaded gray. Are they looking for a quarter? No, they're looking for a half. So this isn't it. Let's make sure that this next shape is what we're looking for. This is split into 1, 2 equal parts, and only one of them is shaded in. So that shows half is gray. This is the one we would want to circle. Okay, let's look at number 3 and 4 and see what they would like us to try. It says circle the shape that shows 1/4 striped. Now they're getting a little tricky here. It's not just shaded anymore. They're looking for the stripes, okay? And a quarter only having stripes. That's it. Let's look at number 3 together. We'll do this one together first, and then you'll try number 4 on your own. So if we look at these shapes, we can see that the circle is cut into halves, right? It has 1, 2. 2 pieces, so it's cut in half. Are they looking for halves? Nope. So this cannot be it. What about this Square. Is it cut into halves or quarters? It's cut into quarters, right? It has 4 pieces. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they're saying they want the shape that only has one of these quarters with stripes. Does this square have just one of the quarters with stripes in it? It does. So we would circle this one. Now for number 4, try this one on your own and then we'll go over it. Which one of these shapes has only a quarter with stripes? Just a quarter of it. I'll give you guys a couple seconds to circle your answer. All right. I think that should have been enough time. If you need more time, pause the video. If you're all good to go, let's go over this one. So remember, a quarter means 4 pieces. Do both of these shapes have 4 pieces? Let's check. This one has 1, 2, 3 pieces. That's not what we're looking for. Let's check this other one. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. So quarters should have 4 pieces. So this first shape is not what we want. The second shape does have 4 pieces. And is only one of those 4 pieces have stripes in it? It sure does. So we would actually circle this one. Okay, let's go down to number 5 and see if we can figure this one out. It says, Julie colors half of the circle green. How many pieces does she need to color? Color the parts, write the number. Now, for this one, just use your pencil. If you have crayons with you, then feel free to use crayons. But you can just use your pencil. Now, remember what half means. Okay, this is a little tricky. I want you guys to really think hard and take your time. I'll give you some time before I go over this, but give this one a shot. How many of these pieces in this circle would Julie have to cover to make it half green? How many of these pieces would she have to color to show half of the circle is green? Okay. If you need some more time, go ahead, pause the video and finish up. Take your time with it. Do not feel like you have to rush. If you are all done, let's go over this together. Now, let me change my color to green. Okay. So, I'm just going to keep coloring this in until half of it is green. All right, you ready? Color in this piece. Do I have half of this colored in green yet? No, I don't. Only a quarter is colored in green. So I'll keep coloring. I'll color in the next part. Now for this circle, do I now have half of the circle colored green? I do. Because see how this top half is all green now and the bottom half isn't? So how many pieces did I just color? I had to color in 2 pieces to make half of the circle green. So now let's turn the page and go over your assignment for today. So on the page you should be looking at now, it should say practice at the top and have the numbers 16-3. So the first section says color the shapes so that half of each shape is blue. And for this, please make sure you have some crayons. Have fun with this assignment today, okay? Get those colored pencils or crayons out. Heck, even if you want to get a marker, I'm okay with it. So go ahead, get those fun colors out. For this one, they want blue. Now, you know what? I'll even underline the word blue with the color blue. So show half of each shape colored blue. And if we go down to numbers 4 through 6, it says color the shape so that a quarter of each shape is orange. Ooh. Let me get my orange out. All right. Again, go ahead, get those crayons or colored pencils for this one. And we want just a quarter of each shape orange, okay? This goes for number 4, number 5, and number 6. Then we go down to number 7 here. It says Marco cut the square into halves. Yep, it has 2 pieces, right? That's a half, so it's 1, then 2. Draw a line to cut this shape into fourths. Well, they also mean into quarters. I don't like that they threw the word fourths in there, but really, that just means quarters. And that's what we've been working with. Okay, so don't worry. Just with your pencil or crayon or a colored pencil or marker, draw one line on this shape to break this into quarters so that there are 4 equal pieces. And then that's it. That's it for your assignment for today, guys. If you have questions, make sure you ask your teacher. If you finish the assignment, please make sure mom and dad take a picture of it and send it in to your teacher. I hope you guys are doing okay with this. I really do. If you have some questions and you have my email, or if you're in my class and you have my dojo, go ahead and ask me all the questions you want. I am more than happy to answer them. All right? So, as always, I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you all next time.